cold. Now they're running along the ridge, running through the woods. Outlaw rider, slide down the hill to the creek below. Stay on the bed so the hounds don't know which way to go. Outlaw rider, a shot rang out then many more. Could have been heard where the eagle soared. Two men rode out, some say many more. Well, you know, Frank and Jess and James just made a score. But now they're running along the ridge, running through the woods. Outlaw rider, slide down the hill to the creek below. Stay in the bed so the hounds don't know which way to go. Outlaw rider, oh, outlaw rider. Frank and Jesse, you are older now. Going to me, never let you down. They've been working for the drinking and the money. You will be getting these dreams about Northfield Town. But now they're running on the ridge, running through the woods. Outlaw rider, slide down the hill to the creek below. Stay in the bed so the hounds don't know which way to go. Outlaw rider, the whiskey in the bottle, it'll kill the pain. The duster's covered with blood, and it began to rain. The horses sounded like the trains they ride. But Frank and Jess and James, just another job. But now they're running along the ridge, running through the woods. Outlaw rider, slide down the hill to the creek below. Stay in the bed so the hounds don't know which way to go. Running on the ridge, running through the woods. Outlaw rider, slide down the hill to the creek below. Stay in the bed so the hounds don't know which way to go. Outlaw rider.
Hello, kids. I'm in a good mood, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, it's amazing to me to watch Crack Squad turn into a bunch of whining simps that their bullies are being bullied. How dare you bully our bullies? You're bullying our bullies. What? How dare you dox those people that doxed you? How dare you dox those people that doxed Anna Mae and her mom and her niece and everybody else? How dare you? What a horrible thing to do. It was freedom of speech just a couple days ago. What happened? Isn't it just amazing, the hypocrisy? And Johnny Gobble, of all people, you know, when all that shit was going down, when Ryan Upchurch was hammering Johnny Gobble pretty heavy, Scammy Cammy comes out trying to claim that Johnny Gobble's a pedophile. And there were two people that stuck up for Johnny Gobble. Just two. Me and his ex-wife. Both said, hey, you can't put that on him. That's not cool. I mean, that is a really raunchy thing to say about somebody, especially when you have zero evidence. And I'm going to tell you, if there's anything in the world that's slander, that's slander. So I'm going to tell you right now, any motherfucker caught calling me a pedophile, I'm coming after you with my attorney. Not a joke. For fucking real. If you guys haven't figured out I mean business by now, I don't know what to tell you. I don't put out baseless threats. I don't tell lies. I don't fib. I don't exaggerate. If I tell you something, you better take that check and cash it. And I'm telling you right now, first son of a bitch I catch calling me a pedophile will be standing in front of a judge. Fucking guarantee it. You better have rock solid fucking proof of anything you want to lay on me. Because I'm done fucking with you. It's time to make an example out of a few of you fuckers. Patrick Patterson's the first one going to jail. And I'll send you his mugshot. Who's next? Who's next? Our owner operator got a tune up today. And I don't want to hear the whining that they're victims. I asked them nicely. To leave this kid alone. Leave Zanime alone, leave her niece alone, leave her mom alone. That didn't work. Prove to them with irrefutable evidence that everything Ryan Upchurch said was pure nonsense. That didn't work. Still dragging her. Told him if you don't stop, I'm going to get mad and I'm going to have to do something about it. They still decided to drag her and they laughed and they thought it was funny. Well, it ain't funny now, is it? That being said, I'll drop the link. We can talk about it. You know, it's not a good look, Crack Squad. You guys look like just whining little bitches right now, big time. How you doing?
Hey, Psychobabble, it's Mel Song.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and I want to thank you for standing up for our girl. I am a friend of Xanime's. I came to know her right when she was rescuing her cousin and her niece from war-torn Ukraine.
Mm.
And I got a front row seat to everything. And I love that girl like she's my daughter. We have formed a bond and stayed in touch and are working on projects together. And I'll admit, originally you were on my shit list, but you made a 180 turnaround. And I thank you for that because you heard and saw the truth.
Yep.
And she is everything she is and more. She is honorable. She is truthful. She is committed to stopping cyberbullying, not just because of what's happened to her and her family and her niece, but because of what's happened to so many other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a former mental health counselor. I retired a couple of years ago after 32 years in the field. And I know what cyberbullying does to people. It can kill people. And Xanime's platform to use this experience to help other people is noble. And she's not doing it for herself.
No.
She's not doing it just for her family. She's doing it because she does know firsthand what this does, but she wants to take this experience, as horrible as it has been, and make something good out of it. Like she says, you take the bullets and you turn it into armor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what I want people to know about Zanime and about your efforts and about everybody's efforts on her behalf. Mr. Fusion and I were on her live panel last week with Mysteriously Brittany. And, you know, she was able to joke about some things. She was able to show us that you go through these shit storms of life, and yes, it hurts, and yes, it starts to knock you down. But you know that saying, you get knocked down 7 times and you stand up 8.
That's right.
And she is molding this into something powerful. And people who think that she's been knocked down, people who think that she isn't going to stand up or that she isn't going to do something, they ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah. I've come to know her and her mom both. And yeah, you kids don't know who you're messing with.
Oh yeah,
She's a pretty
Val.
accomplished woman. She's a problem solver.
Oh, exactly. And Val is wonderful. And Xana Mae's mind goes a million miles an hour. She just doesn't stop. She is a problem solver. And you throw a gauntlet down, and basically what you've done is challenge her, and she will solve it. She will solve it. And when she gets quiet, people think, oh, she's run. Oh, no, 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 no. She is coming up with solutions that the greatest minds couldn't think of. She amazes me. And
Yeah.
Mr. Fusion can jump in here, or anybody else can jump in here too. If I had, I mean, I've got a master's degree too, but I can tell you what, I don't have half the mind she does. And
Right.
I'm old enough to be her mother. Um, she amazes me, she impresses me, and the thing is people who accuse her of clout chasing and wanting subs, that's not why she went into any of this. She went to save family.
Right.
She
Hey, even if she just was going, even if she went to Prosser family campground just out of pure curiosity, like everybody else, it's totally harmless. She didn't do
Right,
anything wrong. She sure as hell didn't do anything to deserve all this.
right. And
Her
you know
family
her
sure as hell didn't do anything, and it's just
exactly.
laughable to me that these guys want to run around crying like they're victims now. Yeah.
Exactly. And her initial, her initial thing when I first met her was to save extended family from the war in Ukraine. And she initially, because she has a forensic degree in psychology, she was naturally interested in some of the true crime situations. So it's not a far stretch that in the back she's been in the background, investigating and looking at some of these things. People thought she just out of the blue inserted herself.
Right.
She has a degree in forensic psychology. She's not an armchair keyboard warrior true crimer, and she never set out to be, and she
Right.
explained that.
That's another one that's been laughable to me. Was she inserted herself? No. Everybody that's had something to say about this case could be accused of that.
It,
I mean, for God's sakes, man.
100%. Well, and
She, wanting a natural curiosity like everybody else on a national news story. You live nearby. You got a kayak. The park's open. I mean, what a
right,
wonderful opportunity to make a video. When Ryan Upchurch stuck his nose in it, it was, he's bringing awareness to it. Well,
right.
what was
And
Anime doing? What the hell was she doing then?
she was going on a pre-planned trip for some rest and relaxation, and had even said on Tony Dodge's show that was a pre-planned trip,
Yeah.
and that while she was there, she was going to try to get some footage to see if she could help at all with the investigation.
And
So
that was just the way she presented it. She
yes, she
said,
was
"Hey,
very upfront.
you guys are really interested in this. You're talking about this park. I happened to just be there a short while ago.
Right.
Check out my video."
She's been very
And
transparent. She's been very honest, and twisted minds will make twisted things of this. She's not out there making anagrams of people's names, and her little dog Hazmat. She just posted today. Hazmat taking a nap, and she has another little post of Hazmat swinging in a little hammock. Um, you know, Honorable people and people who tell the truth have consistent stories
yeah, you don't have
because
to try to remember what you said. You just repeat the
exactly,
truth again.
exactly. And she's never veered from the truth. She's never run from the truth. She was respectful and responsible on Tony Dodge's show. She stepped out of the show because she had had enough of the BS.
Well, the one thing you can say for certain, and I know this for certain, not a single one of these guys that have been relentlessly stalking her and just trashing her can say she ever said a word to any of them.
No,
She's
she did
never
not.
uttered their name. She's never responded to them. She's never mentioned them. She don't know they exist.
Correct. Well, she knows they exist, but she has the character, the grace to not respond to it. And to me, a real man doesn't lower himself to do these types of things and say these things about a woman, let
I
alone
just it blows my mind that these people try to ride on this coattail of this creek squad where it's it's all about traditional family values and a poor kid from the humble kid from the sticks and all about family and the little people, and then to watch them treat people the way they have treated people. If
right.
you could have saw, I mean, Johnny Gobble made a video dragging my deceased child.
Yeah, that's pretty low. When you drag the deceased, when you drag a woman, when you drag a veteran, when you dox someone, what these people don't know is that they've implicated themselves. I mean, as you've pointed out, it's very easy to find uh, ISPs.
I
It's
got them all. I'll have you know. I was lacking one this morning. I'm just going to
yeah,
put that out there. I got
they,
y'all.
they don't realize how easy it is to track this. They don't realize that when you leave that virtual footprint, it doesn't matter what you delete. It doesn't matter what you try to hide. Once it's out there, it's out there. It's permanent, even if you've taken it down. And what they also don't realize is that Xana May has her own squad. She didn't ask for it. She didn't recruit them. But because of her honesty, because of her character, people
Hey,
have
can I say something when you're done, please? I'm sorry.
people
Oh,
have flocked to her because of who she is. And so she doesn't need likes, she doesn't need subs. Um, when she monetizes, it's not for her, it's to support her 11-year-old niece, and it's to return monies so that her mother, who is a nurse, can they can have funds for more medical equipment to take to Ukraine. She even has on her site that any monetization or donations is for humanitarian effort. She has already had a fundraiser to raise funds the first time her mother took equipment for natal units and things in Ukraine. All of this is very public. She has no reason not to be transparent.
no. I mean, her character at this point, the crack squad knows better. They know she's the
It's
real deal.
approach.
It doesn't have to be explained again.
No, he had 40 some odd subs. And what's funny is that RU, I refuse to use his name, RU and his creep, I call him the creep squad, they actually drove people to her.
Yeah.
So, ironically, they are driving people to her, which means she has a bigger platform to help fight.
Without saying a word. She hasn't said a word, and
Exactly.
she's tripled the amount of subs you lunatics got
Which
without saying a word.
bingo, which means now she can help fight cyberbullying, and she has the support of you. She has Mr. Fusion's support, Popcorn Planet, and anybody else
Oh,
who,
there's a lot more than that.
oh,
There's some journalists out there that are on her side too.
absolutely. And what will happen is, and what is already happening is she has international support. I have suggested to her, this is going to sound silly, but you'll find little rocks in places that people will say, leave a rock, take a rock. I said, you know what we need to do? We need to have purple rocks or rocks with a purple heart on it. And it needs to have hashtag stop cyberbullying.
No doubt.
And we need to put these in cities and in parks and in schools and in places. And we need to make this go worldwide. What RU and his squad has done is help her start a movement that will go international. and we will all, you and Mr. Fusion and everyone else included, will help continue this, and the attention needs to turn to stopping cyberbullying. It's not okay. It's not okay to defame people. It's not okay to slander and libel people. And anybody who thinks it's funny, anybody who thinks it's okay, anybody who thinks conspiracy theories are okay and going down these rabbit holes are okay,
It's ridiculous.
are absolutely committing
Hey,
themselves
Mr. Babel, can I say something?
to
Yeah,
potential.
there's a lot of people wanting to jump in here and get a word in here.
Sure,
So
sure.
Thank you. Okay, so I seen Uncle Will's apology thing today, and I want to let you know that I did make a comment, and I told him, because he did apologize to Zanime,
it was
and I
pretty.
was really
It was a
surprised.
pretty wet down, watered version of an
I
apology.
know,
Go
I
ahead.
know, but I know, I totally understand where you come from. But I still at least went on there and I said, hey, at least you were man enough to at least apologize, because Ryan isn't. And I'm hoping that maybe since he was man enough to actually say sorry, maybe some other people will follow in behind and say sorry too, like, hey, I'm
I
wrong.
don't know.
Even though it was a
At
bad
this point,
apology.
at this point, I don't know what good it would do. I think I just need to start kicking the shit out of them one by one. So anybody that drags anime, look out! I'm coming after you. I'm going to expose you. Everybody's going to know where you work. They're going to know what your name is, and they're going to know where you live. So bring
But
it.
what was that? 2 apologies in one day? I was pretty shocked.
Yep. And I ain't done yet. There's a couple
No, I
more.
know you're not, and I'm gonna let you know that everything that you're doing, it's working. Whatever well, obviously, I see what you're doing. It's
Yeah.
working, so
Well,
keep it up. And don't
Patrick's on
stop.
his way to jail, folks. In case you'd like to know, I'll send
Who's
you.
Patrick?
I'm going to put his mugshot on my community page.
Is that
The
Patrick
guy,
Patterson down in the
a guy
comments?
that was relentlessly stalking her, like in a sick
Oh
way.
yeah,
His whole
What's
YouTube channel was dedicated to her and her government conspiracy.
that
oh
sicko.
is that Patrick Patterson down in the comments?
Yep. He's on his way to
He's
jail.
he's in the chat, or at least he
Yeah.
was.
Well, he's going to be on his way to jail. I'll send you his mugshot.
Well, I've
He's
seen
in
it.
They matched him up today. His tattoos, no problem at all. They know exactly who he is. They know where he lives. She's filed a restraining order against him, and he's fucking cooked. Pat. Now, I'm going to put your mugshot on my community page when they come and lock you up, buddy. Not playing, not even kidding, not even the tiniest bit. I gave you 24 hours to take all them videos down. You didn't do it. Just like I gave our 18-wheeler not owner 24 hours to take his down. He thought I was kidding. And I'm not fucking kidding, buddy. Your ass is going to jail. You've done enough on your website to constitute criminal cyber stalking, and it is a felony in the state of California. Buddy.
Not only that, they are doing this to a federal employee, which constitutes a whole nother litany of big oopsies for them.
And the Smokey Ash says, oh, she likes anime, but there's a vulture on her team. This person has had, it doesn't matter. You know something? This idea that just because someone sticks up for Zanime, you have to be able to strip their character down and they've got to be whisper clean and have never even had a parking ticket or their defense of her is invalid is just infantile. I don't care if you've been to prison 10 times. If you know right from wrong, you know right from wrong. There's no excuse for the way that these men have stalked this woman and her family. There ain't nothing that can excuse it. She paddled a boat on a water. But for Ryan Upchurch, they wouldn't even know who she was. Her name wouldn't even be in their mouth.
Well, I'd like to know who Ash is talking about. I mean, don't be so scary with the comments. Just spit it out and say who it is.
Yeah. I mean, we're here to keep it real. You know, if you got something to say it. We ain't afraid of nobody here. We don't have to talk in code anymore. Everybody that drags anime's getting doxxed. Big time doxxed.
Oh, Patrick,
like-
man, he's a weird one. He started off tagging me in his videos once he found out
Yeah.
she was coming to my channel.
Well, he's done. His little videos are all done with.
He's weird, man.
Yeah. Yeah, the police think so too.
I wasn't for sure who you were talking about at first, and then I recognized the name in chat tonight. I'm like, oh, that guy.
Hey, Louisiana lady, you want to back that up? You want to back that up?
Didn't you just talk about your record the other day? Wasn't a damn thing on there about
You
that?
want to back that up, Louisiana? I'd be careful if I was you.
Yeah, I saw Aries Dragon. He did make a video about me. I ain't fucking scared of that guy.
No, hell no. A bunch of twerps, all of them. Run around telling people you own an 18-wheeler and you don't even have a fucking checkbook. You believe in Bigfoot and the boogeyman and visible monsters and bad guys hiding in the closet under your bed that work for the government.
Water's not wet, people. Get it straight.
Yep.
I don't even have
Anybody dumb enough to believe these silly conspiracies is too stupid to win a fight.
I don't even have a channel, and Patrick was calling me a cyber troop.
God.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
He's
they're just
sitting
so
there,
sure of themselves, and
he's
they
sitting
just,
there on his bed with his Capri Sun, yelling at the sky.
Yeah.
So what else is going on? Did you see Uncle Will's video before you came on?
No, I haven't watched Uncle Will's video. I don't intend to because it said but.
Well, he spelled sex offender. He spelled it SEXAFENDER.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even watch it. But, for one, there's no sex offender. If you guys must know, I'll put it on my community page. I was arrested for public indecency for fucking the shit out of my wife by the lakeside. So fuck all of you.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
It's got
So
always
dig,
got to be
dig it
something.
up, man. Go get it. I'll put it on my community page. Do all of it. Not even the slightest bit ashamed of it. Not even the tiniest bit. Could have happened to anybody.
I'm curious.
Well, not you guys, because first you'd have to have somebody willing to have sex with you, and I know a bunch of you. You probably wouldn't be able to make that happen.
Oh, Captain Kurt was down in the comments. He should come back up on the panel. He's
Yeah.
got something to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Kurt
kicked
Burkhart.
myself out for the second time.
Hey, how you doing?
I keep kicking myself out. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, all it takes is one bump, man. I bumped my
I'm
mouth the other
telling
night and
you.
lost everything.
Somebody
God,
in the
don't-
chat was saying a bag of chips and a hot dog. What I want to say is I have a 3-year-old son, and he thinks that he's sneaky. So he went into the kitchen, and he took a hot dog out of the fridge. He ate half of it. He put it in my bag of chips and thinking that he was going to be sneaky and hide it. So I took a picture of it because I was laughing so hard about where we put it. So every time I see it, I laugh, and it's just something for me to laugh about every day. That's
Hey,
what it's about, you guys. That's all.
Don't say bump, because then you're going to be an international cocaine drug smuggler. The conspiracies are going to go wild here in a minute.
Hey, I see all these people in timeout here. Was it vulgarness or just foul mouth stuff? As long as it ain't vulgar, don't kick them out. I want their smart ass remarks. I want all that I can get. Just as long as they aren't being vulgar, I'm going to clear it out, let them back in. If you're vulgar, you're going to get put out. So, look, I'm going to let you all back in. If you're vulgar, we just have to put you back out again. So it's infantile. Don't be vulgar. Then you can stay. And if you think you got something intelligent that defends what's been done to this woman by these fucking men, you let me know. I'll be happy to hear it. I'll play you the video again of what she's guilty of. Rowing a kayak on a public lake with 18 other people. And
How
4
dare
other kayaks.
she? How dare she go kayaking with her dog?
Yeah. So you guys, if you think you got an argument for that, bring it. I'll listen to it. Your guys' stupid conspiracy theory is so whacked, you can't even explain it. I've gave every one of you the chance, and then can't one of you do it. It's like, she said the when she should have said the. Twice. She said Tanya instead of Tatiana. Twice. That's all we get.
Oh, Dana Hall. I love.
Well, that's gobble.
She's a little Nazi comments. Jesus.
No, it's gobble. Hi,
Oh,
Johnny.
Dana Hall is?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Johnny
Really?
Gobble. Didn't I talk to you the other
Come in the
night
chat.
about? Didn't I talk to you the other night that? Listen to me, Johnny. I want to teach you guys something. Now, all you other guys, pay attention. I'm fixing to teach Johnny how to internet. You cannot be logged into your sock account and have a tab open, and then open another tab and log into your main account and tag somebody. Because when you do that, it tags them under the first name you logged in with, which was your sock account, and you tagged me under Dana Hall twice. Johnny, you dipshit. So
Hey, I'm coming out with some new merch tomorrow. It's gonna be called Missouri Royalty.
cool. Hey, listen, I'm telling the guitar guy, tell me about this idea. Guitar with autograph on the front, guitar on the back with no autograph, and a cool little hook would be a pretty good shirt.
Oh, Dana says no. This is the mother of the underage child.
Yeah, the underage child that you let on the internet to stalk an old man. That one is that the one you're talking about? That pretend 17-year-old that you taught to get on the internet and invite herself over to old men's houses? Or is that something she learned from her dad? Dana, gobble. Nobody's buying what you're selling with that nonsense.
Well, let's see if she comes up on the panel.
It ain't she. It's Johnny Gobble. I'm not down. Okay. Knowing what you know and what I stand for, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm 100% certain it's Johnny Gobble. He tagged me and he was fucking logged into his sock account. I click the tag, it takes me to Dana Hall, and then boom, all of a sudden it switches to Gobble Nation. When he switched the tag back, or when he switched his username back. So then I baited him, and it was the same IP number. Well, there you go. 17-year-old, pretend 17-year-old. Yeah. I want to come over to your house. What's your address? I want to come over. You know, I saved all them screen caps, right? Or not? Or are you just too dumb? Or you didn't remember doing all that?
PBG, y'all.
Yeah. It's so pathetic, man. You know something, dude? You know what makes you like super shitty, Gobble? Is when Ryan Upchurch and Scammy Cammy was calling you a pedophile. I was the one that stuck up for you and said, man, that's not cool. Don't do that to somebody. I still got that video still up, by the way. And look at you. Look at what a piece of shit you are. No character, no backbone, no convictions. Just, you know, whichever way Ryan points his pecker, that's the direction you're going. It's sad. It's just sad to see Kurt Burkhart tattoo. Ryan draws on the fucker's arm and he has it tattooed. That's something like you'd see like a 12-year-old girl do with Michael Jackson or something, or Justin Bieber. Not a grown-ass man. That's really like...
Oh, he said in the comments earlier, everybody's got band tattoos. They don't go and get tattoos.
Not like that,
signatures.
dude. No. Don't even. That is the sissiest thing. That's the biggest wussy fandom thing I've ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because it's you. I'd say that if my best friend got that tattoo. I would rag him hard about that. Hi, honey. Where's your pretend 16-year-old?
You click on the trigger in case it's a form bomb.
Yeah. They let you snip it now live. They updated StreamYard. You can just snip it right out of there. It's a big waste of time.
Good.
Yeah, piece of cake. Yeah.
Oh
Piece of
yeah, I
cake.
saw that. The new
Yeah,
clip
yeah.
feature.
Check it out, man. It's
Yeah.
cool. You can almost do it live. I mean, I don't know if you could do it live, but I think you probably could. I haven't tried it yet. But it only takes a second to snip it out. All you do is just remember the time, jot it down real quick and go back and cut it right out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's a big waste of time. It's just infantile. What you got to say for yourself?
Caller, you're on the air.
All right. Well, forget it.
Jeez.
Guess you didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Johnny couldn't get his voice changer to work.
Yeah. Why is it? Why is it? I know that was hey, gotcha, man. I got to be honest, dude. I was a little worried about you. I haven't seen you all week. What the hell you been up to, dude? No new comedy vids, man. I put out all this shit. You can't make one parody.
I know. I've been waiting on a parody from him too. I've been dying waiting. I've been wanting it.
Man. Man.
Gotcha needs to do a parody of the various actors on Scene guy. I think that'd be fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I love Guts Man.
Listen to this, Amanda Baker. She's guilty of something. Yes, sir. She went on Pop Purple Planet and said she did it. Views, her story has changed many times, but I know for a fact she wanted views of a dead dealer strategy.
What the fuck?
Jesus. None of that's true. That's
No,
everything you just said is an absolute fantasy. Just a fantasy. She answered every question eloquently. And these infantile morons just refused to accept it, which is just dumb. It's called rejecting facts. It's called staying stupid. I don't care what you're involved in. Anything like this, you have got to allow your opinions to be challenged.
Hillbilly said, I would definitely get a Taylor Swift tattoo autograph. I don't know how he knew that, but please don't go around telling anybody that.
No.
I don't want anybody to know.
I'm not letting nobody brand me.
Fuck no.
I mean, I used to flip out on the brothers getting like Snickers and M&Ms and shit. And I'm like, you're putting a corporation's name on your fucking body in permanent ink.
Yeah.
What?
Gotcha Man apologizes. He's been moving into a new house and said he can't find his laptop.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we can give you a break. Man, I thought, he'll make a good parody. Yeah. Dana Hall is Johnny Gobble. Just so everybody knows.
Oh, Johnny, hey. I stuck up for you so many times whenever all them crack squatters were making fun of you and doing this and doing that.
The snowman says I'm whacked out of my head. Hey, snowman, what am I whacked about? You have the floor. Name one thing. I'm whacked that I would stop a bunch of men from bullying 3 women that are refugees from a war-torn region and a girl in the army. I'm just a terrible person for defending them, huh? Right? Is that what you wanted to say? I think you'll sound stupid if you say that. I really do. I'll let you say it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
If you want to assassinate your own character, yeah, you're welcome to do so.
Everybody in the chat that keeps saying he won't let anybody on panel, click the link.
There it
chat.
is. I let this person on. Their microphone don't work or something. Just like every crack squad person there is, their equipment don't work. It's every time. Hey, hello.
Caller, you're on the air again.
Caller, you're on the air. Louisiana outlaw. Only cop I ever dealt with was my ex's stepfather, and he knows my entire history because he's been at every call. And they've gone, hey, something? That's something I'd like to talk to you guys about. Because, see, I'm really struggling with this, okay? I used to be like this big pro-police person, right? Like, police got a job to do, criminals, arrest them, all that, right? Would never be down with any kind of police brutality. But I can no longer be pro-police. And I'll tell you why. When I watched the police stand down while Antifa just wreaked havoc on a bar and a carryout and a car parts place and set it on fire and burn it to the ground. Well, and the cops just stood there and watched them. Again, in Washington, D.C., when a bunch of Antifa punks set the church on fire, breached the White House gates, the cops just stood down, didn't do nothing. But then as soon as a handful of Republicans get mad enough to protest a little bit, a bunch of people get arrested. I'm just sorry. I watched them arrest a gym owner that just simply opened his gym. I'm struggling with it, man. I think you could be pro-police all your life, and if some politician told them to come and arrest you, they'd come and arrest you, whether you was innocent or not. How you doing?
How's it going, you bunch of clout chasers?
I'm
Hey,
great.
how you doing? Cloud, huh? It's all about cloud, isn't it? It's always about cloud, isn't it?
Clout.
Yeah.
Y'all a bunch of flip
What's
flops.
up, Jimmy?
Hey, how we doing?
Fuck you, you fucking prick.
Jesus Christ. Is that the best you got?
That's all. That's it, folks.
I mean,
Say
y'all
it
worse
again
than Joe
for the
Biden.
people in the back seat.
1 minute you're on Ryan's nuts, some of you on Johnny's nuts. Now y'all on against them.
I'm on anybody's nuts that are bullying people. What's so hard to figure out about that?
You was on you, but you was just on here a month ago bullying Johnny. So how
Bullying. Did you watch any of his fucking videos, dude?
Yeah,
They
I
were
did,
comedy parodies, dude.
Jesus fuck. We were making fun of the guy. Not
What do
bullying.
you call bullying? Making fun of someone.
There's a big difference.
Oh God.
What you
Fucking
guys
cry me
been
a
doing to
goddamn
Dan
river.
May and her family is bullying.
If Johnny was
What I
being
did to
bullied,
Johnny
then why is
Gobble
he fucking their assholes right
fun
now?
banter.
Let me tell you, none of us went in fucking real life and stalked Johnny. No one of us take pictures of his house and his fucking personal car and put it
Posting it
online.
online.
Really?
Except for Ryan.
No one
Ryan
did.
was
Catch
directly
me.
to
No
the
one
place.
showed up. Hold on.
You didn't catch me calling Johnny Gobble a pedophile.
That's right. Exactly.
You
I
didn't
didn't
catch
either.
me doing
I
shit
didn't
with
run with,
Johnny.
I didn't run with
stuck
that
with
shit.
Johnny.
You saying
Has
nobody was
anybody
bullying Johnny?
accused him of
I remember when
murder?
people showed up at Johnny's house.
Crack
turkeys
Squad
on
was
the
bullying Johnny. Crack
Oh,
Squad was. I never
you
did.
mean the
I
people
never,
that
not one time.
you mean the people that put plastic fucking turkeys outside his house? Never went near the man in real life, but put plastic turkeys outside his house.
Right.
You mean
But,
you mean how
now,
Ryan
just hold on
Upchurch
a
went
You
few
guys
seconds.
were all
to the
supportive
cops
of
Hold
this.
in his
on.
own
Hold
town,
on.
right?
Don't talk
Hold
about
on.
shit that you don't know about, motherfucker. I was in that shit that whole fucking time. The
Right.
one
That was
person,
like
I watched
Ryan
all of it.
exaggerate.
not one person went to his fucking door and did
No.
anything in real life.
Except Ryan went and had to hide himself behind the fucking police like a pussy.
But hold on.
But,
No one went through
hey.
his door. No one went through his door. A man went in his house and recorded him unknowingly. So no one
That
went through
motherfucker
his door.
he was invited in his house. What are you talking about, dude?
He
Did
wasn't
you not
invited
see?
to record.
Listen,
He wasn't
did you not
invited
see?
to record in
Did
his
you
home.
not see all the times Johnny played recordings of
He was a
people
willing
that didn't know
participant.
he was recording?
Johnny Gobble was a willing participant. Xana May hasn't said a word to these men. She's never uttered their fucking name.
Now, why is Johnny Ryan the face of Ryan right now, defending Ryan? Isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic that now Johnny is the one defending Ryan, but he's a victim,
When
right?
Ryan's out here trolling the shit out of some family that never did a damn thing to deserve it.
Well, yeah, why aren't you calling Ryan a bully? Did you not see his videos about Johnny? So why aren't you saying
I
he
didn't
was
say it
bullied?
Yeah,
wasn't.
Ryan
They
did
all-
a hell of a lot worse to Johnny
Well,
Gobble than
come
I did.
on.
I made a
Exactly.
couple comedy parodies.
I'll say y'all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you.
Don't
guys
be a
are bunch
fucking
of
hypocrite
clout
now.
chasers.
Call out your leader about how he was bullying them too. Come
My
on.
leader.
I'll
I don't
wait.
got a leader.
I'll wait.
Ryan's
on.
my leader. Wow.
Ryan's the one who started
Call
all
him
this,
out.
so why aren't you calling
Cash
him
Bill
out?
ruined the gobbler's life. No, the
Call
gobbler ruined
him
gobbler's
out.
life a long time ago.
You know, and
Why
us
will
making
you
some
why will
funny
you
ass
not call
videos.
Ryan out when he's the one who started it?
No, if you're going to be honest, Justin started the shit. He started the shit between Johnny and Ryan. That's what started the shit.
And Ryan took it way out of proportion, all the way going down to Paintsville, all the way getting to the cops on his side.
Listen to this. Okay, Alex G. Hold on. I'm going to get to a couple of these questions. Alex G says the gobbler recorded Johnny or the Gotcha Man recorded Gobbler unknown. Okay, I'll give you that. But what did the Gobbler do, Alex? What did the Gobbler do? Well, let me tell you what the Gobbler did. The Gobbler befriended Justin Adams when he was at a low point in his life. Called him several times and talked to him like a friend and won his trust. And then Gobbler slowly turned the conversation towards Ryan and his mom. And he sat there and fished a bunch of shitty stuff out of Justin Adams, because let me tell you something. We're all a little bit guilty of talking about other people when they're not around. Okay, we're all a little bit guilty of that. And he recorded Justin Adams when Justin Adams thought he was having a private conversation with a like-minded individual. And then he turned around and posted that shit online and destroyed Justin Adams' career and put out a bunch of really shitty stuff about Ryan's mom.
Well, I want to ask this guy two key questions.
Where's your concern when Johnny Gobble did that to Justin Adams? Or does it only tend to bother you when it's somebody Ryan's fucking with when that happens to him? See, are you one of them people that has no character? You only, if you like the person, they can do no wrong. And if you don't like them, everything they do is wrong. Are you one of those pieces of shit?
Nope. I've been trolling both sides the whole fucking time. I don't give a fuck about either side.
No, I want to ask you two key questions. Who was the person that came out and claimed that Johnny was a pedophile? Who?
That wasn't Ryan.
That was
Scammy
Ryan and Ryan Upchurch.
Absolutely.
Ryan didn't
Now,
say Ryan that.
Oh yes, he did.
No,
he said
Ryan
he.
But
said
old
that.
Psychobabble over here talking about kidnapping kids and raping them, huh? That seems pretty interesting, huh?
Let's hear this guy's story. Let's hear the baseball kid guy's story.
Oh
Was
my
in
God,
response,
dude! You know
Johnny.
that was sarcasm, and I told you if you weren't going to be respectful, you'd just get kicked out. Now, if you want to try to turn sarcasm into a statement, we're just going to look at you like a fucking infantile, because it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
The second question: Did Johnny not say that Ryan or that one of his friends slept with Ryan's mom?
Yep, he said that. Let me tell you what Johnny Gobble said.
Yeah, Johnny.
I still have the video.
I'll
still have it.
What he said.
So do I.
I'm going to tell you verbatim. You want to hear it? Quote.
I can tell you verbatim. I remember. I watched every damn video.
Okay, then what the fuck's the issue? Okay,
exactly.
Yeah, the Gotcha Man did it back to him. So what? What's that got to do with Zanime?
Why do you think he's called the Gotcha Man?
I'm saying
Johnny Gobble was a willing participant. Zanime has not mentioned these sons of bitches' names.
my problem isn't with that. My problem is with people like Native J on here talking shit about Johnny when he was just up in Johnny's chat a month ago.
Because Native J doesn't agree with what's happening at the moment. That's why. But if you got a problem with Native J, talk to Native J about it.
That's sarcasm, you're a piece of shit. Let me tell you the story, Marty. Here's the story. Here's what Ryan Upchurch said. Ryan Upchurch said that the girl wasn't real and that her parents hoaxed it for money.
Oh, that sounds familiar, huh?
Then he
Somebody's
said,
not real.
Then he said, quote, Ellen DeGeneres' girlfriend's not real either, and he don't understand all these links. Then he said, quote, that Kylie's grandfather was really a girl named Callie's father. And he put two pictures side by side that looked nothing alike. And then he doxed that 17-year-old girl. Okay. Then he said that 3 YouTubers and a girl in the Army went to California to kidnap a child to sell her in the sex trade. And they had sex with her so much she died. So they put her in the car and put her underwater and then went back home for 4 weeks. And after 4 weeks went by, Zanime went back a second time and paddled over top the body while playing circus music with her dog with a life jacket on. And then scuba dived down to the car on a Yamaha scuba bike and adjusted some things around in the car and then came back up and then went back home. And I replied in a sarcastic way, yep, that's what happened. We all went out there to rape a kid.
Well, people with little girls and children don't think that's funny.
That's what you're trying to sell, Marty, and you sound like a 12-year-old.
Let me talk to you for a second,
going to work, dude. No one's
James,
ever
listen
going
to
to buy
me.
that.
James, listen to me. Let me talk to you for a second without your panel talking. And I'm calm and I won't cuss.
You're going to
Let me tell you that was not
is that what you're going to do?
What you just said was not verbatim, man.
Oh, yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh, yes,
they never
it
said
is.
that they had sex with a girl until she died.
Oh, yes, it is.
Ryan never said that.
Oh, my God.
But now I'm here to ask you questions. I'm here to ask you questions.
No, I'm going to play the video.
No, listen, that video is edited.
Video. Shut up. I'm playing the video of him saying it.
Don't tell me to shut. Just answer me.
Just hang on a second, guy. Just hang on a second.
You shut up.
Okay, Native J wants me to tell everybody that he's never said a bad word about Johnny, besides telling him he won't.
Everything I just said, I have video of. I'll let you back on if you say I was wrong. He did say that, because I'm telling you, I've got a video of him saying that verbatim. Verbatim. And I'll play it right now.
Mr.
I don't tell
Babbles.
lies.
Mr. Babbles, can I ask you a question? Can I ask a question?
What was it you were trying to say? Because we're going to start off grounded in the truth.
I just want to ask a question. I'm not making any facts or any statements.
That's why
I want to ask a question. You know what it's like to lose a child. I know what it's like to lose a child. You get very angry.
Get the fuck out. Don't ever come back. What is it you got to say, Tennessee?
No, let me tell you. Let me ask you. I just came to ask you questions, okay? So Xanime, she told the world that she was there as just a planned vacation. That's the first thing I heard. Now listen to me. I've also heard her, which I have, like I know, I've seen it with my own eyes, her say that she was there to volunteer specifically.
She said she was going to check. See, you guys try to take shit out of context. She said she was going to check and see if she could volunteer.
But then she said she was there to stay with her friend.
Because that's what she does for a living. And they were taking volunteers.
Okay, what about her friend with cancer? She said she came for that too.
Yeah, she did.
She did. She did. She said
she did.
That's 3 different accounts, though.
She said, no, it's not.
Okay.
No,
see,
it's not.
I know you're not going to listen, so I got to put you out.
She said,
I can keep your mouth shut while I explain it to you.
Let me clarify.
She was very clear.
She said
she would stop interrupting me.
She said
she was very fucking clear.
All right, Psychobabble.
Very
this is
clear,
Mel
very clear. She was very, very clear.
This is
she
Mel
drove
Song.
From her home to the hospital to spend the day with her friend that was getting treatment for breast cancer on day 1.
Right.
Of her vacation.
Right.
On day 2. 1, 2, you know how 2 comes after 1? On day 2 of her vacation, she went the extra hour to Prosser Family Campground. And she spent the night there and went kayaking the next morning.
Right. And that was her original destination.
Hard stop, quote, end quote, on video.
Right. And that's,
now what?
That's the problem, is that these folks.
Okay, now listen to me. I never once thought.
Tennessee, hang on, dude. She's talking. Just give her a second.
Tennessee.
Okay.
That's the thing with this, is that people.
They're letting you go ahead.
What happened?
I don't know.
Go from point A to point B, then back to point C, and then, you know, they think they're mutually exclusive, and they're not. She already
try to pull stuff out of context, and then they hear what they want to hear. They do it to me all the time.
Right.
I'll type something, and they read something completely different than what I typed.
Right.
Okay.
So
and
the
then swear
reality
by it.
is she had the
And I've caught them at it 100 times.
Right.
And
so
it
she
makes them look like a fool.
So let me just clarify for Tennessee. She had the trip planned. She did stop. She did stop to see her friend who
she spent the night there with her friend at the hospital.
Right. And then
she's got pictures. She's got pictures of her being there.
And then she went back and finished through with
you tried to say she didn't.
And then
I'm trying to talk.
But you said she didn't.
Oh my
You
God.
first said Ryan Upchurch never said that shit, and he said every word of it.
Okay, now listen to me. Listen to me.
And then
I
she
never
went
once
on
said that
with her
Exanime was
plan.
involved with
No,
Kylie.
let him get
I
it,
never
son.
once said that.
No one's blaming you.
But
Okay, now I've never
you're
said she
trying
was
to
involved
say
with
that
Kylie.
she said
So
different
no one's
stories.
blaming
Do
you.
you just have? What is this lady? I
I
can't
don't know
even
what
talk,
your point
bro.
is. What's it got to do
I'm
with you?
trying to
This
get
ain't
to my
about
point,
you.
but she
This
keeps
is not
reading a book or
about you,
something.
buddy. It's
I'm
not
trying to get
about
to the
you.
point. I know that. You won't let me talk.
What is your point? Because you're
My
trying to say
point is,
they're
I never said
mutually
she was there for
exclusive.
Kylie.
It's not
I was
about
talking
you.
about. I was talking about her business. That's all I said.
What about her business?
I don't care
What
about
it.
I know she wasn't there for Kylie and killed Kylie or anything like that. I know that. I'm talking about her business.
What about
because
it?
I'm American and I don't like when people come here illegally, and that pisses me off, and that's why
She's
I got
not
involved.
here illegal. She's a
Her
fucking
mother
American
is.
citizen in the military.
No, her,
Her
mother
mother
is
is.
here as
She's
an
been here for
American
19
citizen.
years.
Who?
Her
Yeah, her
mother's here
mother
on a
actually is
fucking.
not
Her
illegal at all.
mother
They
is
have
here
passports.
on a war
They have green
refugee
cards.
green card.
Actually,
Until
They're
she
allowed
gets
here.
married.
Actually,
And then she's legal.
They're naturalized citizens. Her mother's
They're
married. They're
war
naturalized
refugees. We take in
citizens.
over 2 million war refugees a year.
Man. We don't. That's the
What do you
problem.
think
You
a
already see what's
refugee
going
is?
on
They're
in
not here
America.
illegally.
Is that Xanime's fault?
Hold on.
No, I didn't say it directly. It was.
Then why are you saying it?
This is Anime's friend. They've been here for over 20 years.
Her mother has not been here for 20 years.
Yes, they have. She and her mother and her sister came here over 20 years ago. They are naturalized.
Have you seen the year that the business started?
The business is
What does that have to do with
different.
anything?
Hold on a minute.
That's the problem. That's where the money laundering.
No.
All right.
No.
You're
You're
done.
drawing
Goodbye.
very wrong
Don't ever come
inferences.
back here. Okay, Tennessee.
Psychobabble,
Hold on.
let me-
Everybody shut up.
Wait a minute. Please don't tell me
Tennessee,
to shut up.
if I ever hear you repeat that again, I'm doxing you fully where you work and doxing your parents.
So let me set
Goodbye,
this straight
twerp.
because I've heard people
Wait,
say this
Psychobabble,
before.
what just happened? What did I just miss?
Hey, how we doing, Triple T?
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
I'm not going to take a lot of time. So the last guy that was up here, I've been listening the whole time. He said his whole thing was he's an American. He doesn't like people being here illegal. Hey, jackass, I want you to look at me when I say this, okay? That young lady signed a contract saying that she was willing to die for this country. You understand what I'm telling you? She's a 2-time war veteran. I don't give a fuck if her whole damn family comes over here. She has done more for this country than you have ever done, you sorry piece of shit.
No kidding.
Absolutely.
So you need to
You let me
shut the
catch
fuck
him
up.
saying that somewhere, and I will dox him so fast he won't know what happened.
You need to shut up when you talk about a veteran and their families. You want to say that you're American, you don't like people here illegal. Get the fuck out of here with that stupid
We're
ass
done.
shit.
I guess Crack Squad, I guess maybe they didn't hear me today. I said I was done messing with you sons of bitches. I mean business now. You pissed me off, and so now I mean business. And you saw what I done today. I took 3 of them out in one day. I'm fixing to take 3 more out.
Babel, can I just set something straight, please, for these people
Sure.
who just don't seem to be able to get their facts straight?
Yeah. Here's the problem. They hear what they want to hear.
I know, but
They just get lost on stupid. And it's just the most ridiculous thing because none of them would even know this woman existed if Ryan hadn't tried to turn a simple kayak ride into something.
Okay, well, I'm going to set them straight on some history. I know the timeline. Xana May, her mother, and her sister came to the United States over 20 years ago. They are all naturalized citizens. Her mother married.
And she's done more for this country than any of you.
Absolutely. Her mother married. Xana May completed high school here, as did her sister. Xana May then joined the U.S. Army. And as Triple T mentioned, she is a two-time war veteran. She served 10 years in the U.S. Army. She's now a member of the Cal Guard. She, as you have said, has done more than most people do in their whole lives. She's done in her short life. She's a decorated veteran. She has done a great deal. Now people start to talk about, well, when she started her business. Her business is a side business that she and her mother started. One of the reasons the side business was started was to earn extra money, and what she's doing with that side business is to help earn money for her cousin and her niece and for their expenses, and to help give them jobs so they can be self-sufficient. And if
Instead
anybody's
of draw
really
welfare like your family's probably doing, Tennessee,
and
you're
if
probably a 3-time generation welfare sucker.
and if anybody has really listened, she's wanted to expand that platform for other people so they can also sell their goods through this crafty place. There are people who
Melton,
don't know what
Melton,
an there are people who
can
don't
you
know what
explain
an
to people who you
LLC
are?
there are people who don't know what an LLC is. So they're drawing all these conclusions about Xana May and
Where
her
that came
family
from was
without
Ryan.
knowing the
Ryan
truth.
went on his live and he found an LLC in her name. Okay. Well, then he found one that Ickadmel made. Well, of course,
Right.
Ickadmel would have an LLC. He's got that. It's got his podcast. He probably does his 1099 under the name of the podcast, which would be totally natural thing to do. And he tried to say that because Ickadmel had one and Xana May had one, they knew each other. That was a stupid comparison.
Right. And I'm saying these things because I know Xana May. I am her friend. As I mentioned earlier, she and I connected when she was getting ready to rescue her cousin and her niece from Ukraine.
Thank you.
We have developed a very, very close friendship. We are working on projects together. I don't want to say things that are not public, so the things that I say are public information. I'm not going to divulge her history or anything that's not public. And that's an agreement that she and I have. So what I'm saying is public. And if anybody knows how to properly Google or do research, they would find these things. But instead, they get little tidbits of information and incorrectly link them and draw conclusions that are not correct. So
Well,
I'm saying
the
these
mentality.
things
The mentality is this, okay? Ryan Upchurch says it, it's gospel, and they will reject.
Right. So what
every fact that would refute it, they will just reject it.
Right. So what I'm telling people is from Xana May to me, and it's corroborated by facts that are easily looked up through Google, through news reports, from when she went to save her family members, from many other reputable sources. So the rumor mill has to stop. People have to stop going down these damn rabbit holes and thinking that these ridiculous comments are truth and are facts. They're not. They're opinions that have been pulled out of people's rear ends, and it's got to stop.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, everybody's entitled to their method. I learned early on, these people don't know polite falls death on them. So I got to get down in the mud and waller with them in the mud. And I don't mind doing that. And I'll do it for as long as it takes.
Triple T, how's your night going, bud?
Hey, I love that backdrop, man.
It's doing pretty good. Appreciate that, Psycho.
Boy, they're really coming out of the woodworks tonight, man.
Yeah, it's just the funniest thing to me that at this point, you know, this is it's gotten to a point now where every one of them know what Xana May's background is. Her military record's been explained. Her 10-minute video has been dissected for 2 months. Nothing we're going to say is going to change the stupid belief that they want to hold on to. So all you can do now is swat them down like cockroaches every time they bring it up. And if it takes doxing them and embarrassing them and shaming them and letting their employer know that they're dragging a 2-time war veteran and saying a bunch of racist crap about a family of refugees, then maybe we'll have to have a talk with their employer and see if that's something their employer supports. But it's going to stop. You guys are going to stop dragging this lady just because Ryan Upchurch said so. Now, if Ryan Upchurch would be a man and admit that everything he said was nonsense and tell these guys to leave her alone, they'd leave her alone. but he's
And
never
as
going to be man enough to do that.
And as Triple T pointed out on Xana May's live last week, you don't go messing with and slandering and defaming a federal employee.
Yeah,
That's right.
I can promise you that'll have a limit.
U.S. Code
It'll reach a limit at some
18119.
point.
Was it 18019 or 8119?
It's U.S. Code 18119. Go look it up. If you dox a federal employee, which he is, you can receive up to 5 years imprisonment and a very, very hefty fine.
Especially if you are. I read today. Now here's the problem: is you try to look for that stuff and you get so much of it, it's hard to tell what's really legit. But I read today that if you are slandering a veteran over war politics, that you can be arrested for that too, where you're trying to pigeonhole a soldier into a political narrative. Well, that's all some of these guys been doing, especially that Patrick. He keeps trying to attach Xana May to political policies he doesn't like.
When you're in the military, that we don't care about your political views. We don't care about your religious views. We don't care about your sexual views. We don't care about your gender. The only thing we care about, if you're going to have the man's back to the left and right. That's all we care about. We don't even care about the Constitution. We don't even care about the American people. Because when we're in a combat zone, we don't care about none of y'all. We care about getting each other back. I know that might sound harsh and it might sound kind of messed up, but that's the reality of it.
Yeah,
okay?
Very true.
Now, I'm a big Upchurch fan. I love his music. I like him as a person.
Me too.
I'm on here to defend Xana May's military background, and I'm sick and tired of seeing all you little trolls out there attacking her integrity and her military experience. If you never wore the uniform, don't speak on it, because you have no idea what you're talking about. If you served in the military and you've been out over a year, don't speak on it, because things have changed. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Give that woman her respect. Stop harassing her about her military experience.
Yep.
Triple T, I appreciate your service, by the way, times 10.
Yeah,
I appreciate
it too. And listen, here's the thing: if none of Xana May's information was available, I could see some of you people holding on to Ryan Upchurch's fairy tale, but it's all available to you. It's all there for you to digest, and you just refuse to digest it. So now it's just what else can be done with you? Ain't much else can be done. Just play hardball.
It's just a bunch of trolls, Bevel. That's what it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they learn. There's some people you just don't troll.
I was supposed to go in the Air Force. I ended up blowing out my MCL and ACL meniscus. I was supposed to play ball for Air Force and then do 2 years. Never ended up going. So, it bothers me as well when people, whoever the fuck was on there, just said, illegal. That illegal immigrant that you're talking about did 19 years without your fucking ass serving.
Yeah. There you go.
How do you feel about that, bud? Like on the real? Like,
yeah.
When Triple T just said that, it's like, it's the truth. Like,
it's like, where do they get these gross exaggerations at? Like, or her mom's in the country illegal. No, she's not. You can't get in the United States illegally coming through an airport. It's impossible.
Yes, I did say that Xana May does work behind a desk. In combat armed community, we call that a pencil pusher. But she's still a 2-time combat veteran. She was still deployed to a combat zone. She still signed a contract saying that she was willing to die for this country.
It doesn't
It's a
really,
lot more than what a lot of you are willing to do.
Right. But see, here's the thing. If they admit that she's in the military, then they have to admit that everything Ryan said was shit, because that's the first thing Ryan said was that she was fake and it was a fake uniform and she wasn't in the military. That all came from Ryan Upchurch. All of it originated from him. Her name wouldn't be in their mouth but for what he said. And I just can't believe he's going to just turn his back and pretend like he never said nothing and let these freaks continue. I'll bet you if that Patrick dude was stalking his little sister, he'd feel a whole lot different.
It's just our country's kept safe by our military, and just simply to say stuff like that and to discredit, as Triple T said, it's fucking mind-boggling. I mean, do you not have, I know you say common sense a lot, Babel, and I just disagree on one thing, and now I'm going to bring that one thing up.
Yeah.
It's just sad. Like, this land we live on right now, we are all protected. We're not going overseas and doing X, Y, and Z. We're not coming back with PTSD.
Yeah.
To the people in the chat that keep saying that Ryan never said she wasn't in the military, he did.
He absolutely did. Jiminy Christmas. Let me tell you something. I've got a montage with every freaky thing he said. It's like 16 minutes of just the shortest clip of every crazy thing he said. And when you play it, it's so bad. Now, you guys have seen, I'm willing to really put the hammer down, right? This thing looks so bad for him. I don't really feel like posting it yet. It's that damning. And all I did was just take every little crazy thing he said and patch it into one long video. And when you listen to it, you think you're looking at somebody that is just completely fucking gone. And I don't know if I'm going to post it or not. It's damning as hell.
If you don't want to post it, I'll post it for you.
Triple T, you said doxing a vet or anybody in the military for that matter is a felony. You said.
Mm-hmm. Right.
See, I was reading where it's like if you like harass a veteran over their service, like if you like come up to a veteran and you start thrashing on them about their service and start pigeonholing them into politics, that you can get in trouble for that too. But I don't know if it was real. I was just it was like something I read on like a forum. And
hey, RHEC Skies, Uncle Will doesn't have any real information. He can't even spell offender right. So any information he's got should be taken with a grain of fucking salt. Okay?
Yeah, no kidding.
I wonder if that girl got her new laptop yet.
And see, that's the thing. Here's what they do. They attack the person. They can't attack the message. They know what Ryan said's nonsense. They know what we're saying is true. So they can't attack that. So they just go after the person and try to attack the person. And it's just falling short. It's not.
And whoever in the chat that said this isn't our land, you fucking crazy.
Yeah. That's another one that's a sore spot, people.
You live on it.
The whole Indian thing, that's always bothered me because if you read history with an open mind, the Indians were savages. They refused to get along. They refused. They would scalp women and children. The Pilgrims tried everything under the sun to befriend them, and they just weren't going to do it. They
stole the land from the mines.
Right. And for a couple of tribes to lay claim to an entire continent is a bit of a stretch. And the Pilgrims tried their damnedest to get along with them, and they refused. And they don't own an entire continent, and just because they can say, well, we was here first, and no one else can move on an entire continent because they think they were there first. I mean, it's just silly. And there's that.
It's like the renaming of the teams. You know what I mean? We have the Guardians now.
I mean, the Indians were vicious, man. Vicious.
And vice versa, I would assume, right?
But, well, once we got guns, now you understand they didn't have guns at first, and when the Pilgrims didn't have guns, they were being slaughtered by the Indians. It was very dangerous to head west unless you had a firearm, because you would most certainly lose your life if you went unarmed, or if you didn't have a pretty good group of men that could maybe pose a threat. You probably wouldn't do it. Then as guns started to circulate, the muzzle loaders, that was a game changer. And, who's to say at that point, maybe there was some overkill. I don't know. But I can just tell you, if you read history books with an open mind, you're going to say, wow, they tried everything to get along. They couldn't get along. And there were a lot of Pilgrim families where the women and children were scalped and raped, and the men were turned into slaves.
D-Nugs, you're a buddy of mine, and you're saying, why does Ryan need to apologize? I'm confused. You don't think he needs to apologize for some of the stuff he said, my man? Like
he caused all of this, every bit of it that's happened to Zanima and her family, Ichabod, Ronnie Jones, to Tony Dodd, to all those people that he accused of being involved in this child, which is just so absurd, have been hurt by it. But Zanima the most. Zanima and her family, because they're women, have taken the worst beating. And yeah, these guys are bullies. Well, they got bullied back.
And Ryan's gonna sit there and let Johnny Gobble, because he looks stupid, take up for all of his bullshit, and he's not gonna apologize. He's gonna sit back like it never happened, while Johnny sits there and his mommy, that, oh God, that just irritates me. While Goble and his mommy.
There we go again. Hey, JoJo, let me address this question. JoJo, are we going to do this again? This is what I mean. This guy right here. Okay, this has been explained to him. This will be like the 8th time. I'm going to do it again. He must be a baby. Yes, I believed Ryan Upchurch when he said it. And I said, oh, wow, man, look, this person's guilty. And look, man, I heard this today, man, this is bad. Then I checked and found out it was complete bullshit. Like in 20 minutes. And I was fucking ashamed of ever even considering. I had no reason that Ryan would lie. And I really wasn't paying that close of attention, really. And I thought, oh, well, he must know about this. It must be something he's, saw go down or something. He's talking about, here's this chick. It's pretending to be a soldier, man. They were involved in this kid. And I was like, oh, wow. Well, yeah. It didn't take me long to figure out it was bullshit. And I've long ago apologized to her for that on a live broadcast. So why do you keep bringing it up? Isn't it just silly at this point that you keep bringing it up? She's accepted the apology and it's put to bed. It's just, you're like a baby. You're like a child. It's funny.
How you doing,
Hey, Mr. Fusion, check the private chats, please.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
How you doing tonight, Psycho?
All right.
What was the topic tonight we talking about?
Hey, I got a question.
Anything, man. Okay.
I got a question. UFC guy, I don't know your name. What do you go by?
You're muted.
He's Boston. He's talking to you.
My bad. I was on mute. Boston. You can call me Boston if you want.
Were you on Tony Dodge's panel the night that Ryan came up and Zanima?
Yes, I was. I was first, and I thank Zanima for her military, being in the military, all that stuff, and then Ryan, I guess, jumps in the back, and Tony Dodge brings me down, and then brings Ryan up, and that's when that whole beat happened. Yeah.
What did you think? What did you think about that when that happened?
I was surprised a little bit. It took a while, right? 30 minutes for them to get into that, right?
Something like that.
I was surprised a little bit. And then I found out later, about a month later, that she was his co-host or supposed to be his co-host for, a couple shows or whatnot. So I thought that was pretty, once I found that out, I thought that was pretty fucked up that he just threw her to the wind because he had Ryan on the show and all his, but they're, minions, you know what I mean? That's what they are. In his chat, and he's getting all these super chats and stuff like that. That's how it went. You know what I mean? And I was on Tony Dodge's for 4 or 5 other times. After that, I haven't been on there a month at least. But it had nothing to do with really, actually anything at all to do with the case. It was more just chilling and the panel and whatnot. We had a girl on there overdose. I don't know if you knew about that. I was up there until 6:30 in the morning with the guys. We sent the police there. The police ended up showing up, and saving her. And then I just, I end up finding out he's not the greatest person on earth. It has nothing to do with the crazy stuff that he said or whatever. You know what I mean? It's other stuff that are behind the scenes that nobody knows about. That
Well, I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, but
Go ahead, bro.
were you trashing her? Were you talking about her when they doxed her?
No, doxed. You said?
Yeah.
No. My mother's ashes. No, why? Why would you ever say that?
Well, I mean, were you? Because Xanime's texting me right now. She's telling me that you were up on the panel trashing her.
Yeah,
No,
same here.
It wasn't. It was not. I was not trashing her whatsoever. That was when I was on that panel. When after that happened, that's when Ryan started breaking down X, Y, and Z. Right? Ryan was there twice. I want to say. And then after that, you can ask Anime. If she's texting you right now, I've been on with her on here before, so I don't understand why she's saying that. And I've been her for fucking a month. I mean, even called her a bitch and stuff like that and whatnot. There was a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, no, you're good. There was a lot of stuff going on. Go ahead.
So you're saying that you never doxed her?
Doxed?
Yeah.
No, I don't even know how to dox somebody. I'm not. No.
If you know their real name, it's really simple. If you know a person uses a screen
These
name,
are my mother's ashes right here.
There's a reason why you have Boston on there and you don't have, John Smith or Ted Jones or, people have a screen name because maybe they're going to express an opinion online that they wouldn't necessarily express at work or express to their friends or whatever. It's called freedom, and we all tend to want to respect that. But when you dox somebody, it's like you say their real name, or you say they're really where they work, or you say really where they live, or something like that.
I still don't even know Xanime's real name.
No, we're not. She's nobody's claiming that you doxed her. You were just on the panel.
Oh,
yeah.
When I was on that panel that night,
Raise Hell Eat Cornbread Sky says I should stop because I'm about to be exposed. Well, hell, say what you got to say now, there, Rick.
Is that
there's nothing in my past I'm ashamed of. I hate to tell you, not a damn thing. I ain't ashamed of having sex with my wife at a public park and getting caught. I think it's kind of funny, actually. The dude, my wife was the hottest woman he's ever seen in his life. He froze like a freaking statue, and he was going to make her stand there with no shirt on while he called in my social and shit. I said, dude, she's going to put her shirt on and you're going to let it happen or you and I are going to fight. And that's why I got charged with disorderly. I'm not ashamed of it at all. Just not even a little bit. So you're wasting your time. It's just laughable. It's just one of them stupid things that happen. I'm having sex in the woods and I get busted by a damn game warden of all people.
And real quick, I've been on Queen Bee's panel almost every day for the last couple of weeks. You can go on there and I've had Xanime's back since that second stream that Ryan put together. That Iquidel, Xanime, and Ronnie were in on a freaking I don't want to say whatever, S trapping, whatever. I don't know.
This other dude was swearing up and down that I was at a birthday party with Tony. I'll have you know, I've seen Tony's show once, the one that Xanime was on. That's it. Never been back. Never watched one before that. Don't know the guy. But all I know is he's got a right to have an adult comedy show if he wants to. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, that's not the problem. Yeah, that's
no one has to watch us if they want to watch it. If you don't like what he's doing on there, don't watch it.
Hey, Triple T.
Yeah.
I got something to tell you, man. I appreciate it. I was there that night when you put Xanime all her shit out there like that and prove everybody that she was really in the military, man. I was there that night on your stream when you did that, man.
It's a shame that you're telling deaf ears,
That really should have showed a lot of motherfuckers that they don't know what they're talking about. Honestly, it just showed a lot of motherfuckers up. They shouldn't even talk about her anymore.
Yeah, you're
I mean?
right.
Seriously.
I just want them to stop talking about her military experience.
I don't think so, Como, huh?
No, I mean like that.
I'm not going to be thinking anything,
really
and you're next.
And you straight showed everybody all her medals and everything, man. That she really was 10 years or more was in there. You know.
Go ahead, do it right now. Blue on black. You have my permission.
What's your name on the top right, by the way? So I know to
drop whatever you got right now.
Oh, Bud Light, you talking about me?
Yeah.
Cracksquad live talk.
Oh no, top right.
You mess with hey, Weakest Link. If you drag Zanime in a video or a community post or a comment on any of my content, yes, I'm going to dox you. Absolutely.
Yeah, because y'all fucked with her. What do you mean? Of course, now you're getting payback. Don't be crying now.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, bro, you can go to Zanime's page and her videos. I've a month ago, I got caught up on Tony's panel when Ryan was on there trying to give all these conspiracy theories and whatnot. And there's one point where Ryan looks up at me and goes, "Look, Boston understands it." I'm looking up like this, like trying to see what he's figured out and whatnot. And he just kind of says that and whatnot. Never in a million years, and you go back and watch all that shit, did I ever think that she was involved in anything. I'm an auto transport broker, and when I was on there, I was talking about how a car could disappear like that without anybody knowing. They can get a truck can go pick it up. You don't need nobody there. Keys left under the mat, money left under the mat, and it gets dropped off somewhere. We were discussing stuff like that and how the car could disappear.
Weakest Link is fighting the good fight out there, man. He's getting them all.
I'm sorry.
Hey, man was in the hospital this morning.
Who?
Yeah. Country True says he liked Ryan's music and character until he called Zanime all that crap and said Kylie and her family was fake. I know it's pretty hard to take, wasn't it, Country? That really was disappointing.
That's my biggest thing. In the chat. You know what I mean? Like, everybody can have your own opinions, though. And like I told Psycho, he knows this. When he said that girl was fake, man,
listen to this. Michelle says sticking up for Zanime is a hate campaign.
Come on,
Captain Kirk hate campaign. Let me tell you what a hate campaign is, Michelle.
Man,
a hate campaign is when an entertainer gets on his mega celebrity platform and cranks his megaphone up on a 12 and tells all his fans some girl in a kayak is a child sex trafficker and went and killed a child in California, and that she's fake military and that the mom are fake.
Smuggling Ukraine.
And everybody's you fake. And then a whole bunch of low IQ idiots go after these three women that just left a war-torn country, come here. These guys go after them, and relentlessly, we're going on a second month now. That is what's called a hate campaign. She was called every name in the book. She was accused of every heinous crime you can think of. It was a massive hate campaign for sure. Now, my defending Zanime is a good campaign. It's a positive campaign. It's an ice cream and cookies campaign. It's a let's have a birthday cake and light some candles campaign.
I feel like Triple T is the one that just shut all that shit up by showing her shit online.
Yeah.
I really believe that. I think when he did that, I felt like that just shut a lot of motherfuckers up, man.
No, that's not true. These guys were on to her hard. That's why Triple T did it, man. They were already climbing all up on her for a solid month.
But I'm just saying. She wasn't really in there. I mean, come on, man.
I left it on
your
thing.
Babel, will you let the sweet tea girl in?
Hey, Captain Kurt is in the comments. He wants to come up. I think we should let him come up.
I don't care. Yeah, he can come up.
There's a sweet tea person who wants in too.
If he wants to come up and try to defend what he did, he can. I mean, there's no defending it. All he can do is say, "Man, I shouldn't have done that. That was terrible."
There you are.
Yeah, I was just coming up to take up for Boston.
Who's that? Sweet tea. Oh, hey.
Yes, I was coming up to take up for you. I was like, wait a minute.
Wait. Hang on. Okay, so from what I was told is that Boston was in the comments of Tony Dodge's live chat trashing Zanime, and then when he got up on the panel, it
but he's
switched
saying
up.
he did. But you're saying you got this secondhand, right?
I'm getting it from Zanime herself. So I don't know if that's really.
She's got him confused with somebody else. I promise you, she's got.
That day that it happened, I don't know if I trashed her or if I second guessed her, but never anything about military. Ever about military.
I'm not
If
saying
you
anything
did,
specific.
just be a man and apologize. You know what I mean? If you said some shit about her, now you sorry
It's already,
about it.
it's already,
It is,
I already,
you know what I mean?
yeah, I went to her page personally on her
Yeah,
page.
it is
And
what
she
it
knows
is.
this. I don't understand why she's even texting you. She knows this. It's in her. You can go to her things right now. You'll see that.
Hey,
Once I figured X, Y, and Z out,
Okay.
I know I can admit what I'm wrong. That's a problem these days.
Okay.
Hey,
Never had nothing to
Patrick.
do with
Hey,
the
Patrick.
military
Guess who's
thing,
keeping an eye on
the
you,
traffic thing. None
buddy?
of that.
I can't wait to put your mugshot on my community page because I can tell, Patrick. Hey, Patrick.
Hey, you're funny.
I can
son.
tell.
Look,
I can tell
okay.
you don't have sense enough to heed the warning. Okay. I
Look,
can
she
tell
said
you're one of those guys that you're one of those really dumb guys that you think everybody's as thin as you are, and they're just shooting their mouth off and they're not serious. You think everybody's like you, and what you're going to
This guy
find
looks
out
like a
is, buddy,
weirdo.
is I mean what I say. Okay, the sheriff in your county, matched you to a mugshot yesterday. They have you, and they're watching you. They've looked at your fucking YouTube page. And if you
look
make
at
a
him.
fucking
He look like
remark toward this girl after tomorrow, or I think it was today actually, that the report was filed with the report number. So you keep it up and watch. You're going to get arrested. I'm just telling you that because I don't want to see that happen. But if it happens, I'm putting your mugshot on my community
Hey,
page.
Psycho. He looks like he's the one that he knows what 10 and 2 looks like, on his fingers, twisting it from 10 and 2.
You
know what I
don't
mean?
see what this filthy guy's doing to her. Go
Wait,
look at his
isn't that the
page.
guy that's stalking Danime at home?
yes.
Oh, ew! Oh my God.
Hey, who's
Look,
the
That's
Uncle Bill
disgusting. I
Stark
feel bad
channel?
for
Who the
her.
hell is that?
Listen to
Who's
this
talking
dumbass. Can we see this Linux server in the closet? Hey, hold on a second.
There's some
Hey,
weird motherfuckers.
You sure can?
Boston. No, regardless of what happened, Zanime just said that she forgave you. So if you were saying anything bad and you switched and now you're on her side, she
Right,
forgives you.
yeah.
So
everybody fucked up, man.
Yeah, she said, yeah, she's down with it.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, I was
all
caught
good.
up, yeah, that night, but never. That's the thing, though. Like, the worst thing, I don't use the word bitch to a woman. I don't do that. None of that shit. Like, so I'm trying to figure out what in the comments, like, what I said that was so negative. But no matter what, if it was negative or even on the borderline, had nothing to do with military services. I went up there. The first thing I said to her was, "I appreciate your military service." I got about 30 seconds in, and then Ryan came on and Dodge brought me down.
Yeah, we're not saying anything specific. She wasn't saying anything about military. She just said there was some negative.
No, she just said you were down talking to her.
Yeah, and real quick, that shit's, once I put because I have my own fucking common sense, like a lot of these fucks don't.
Hey, Rich.
I put together, and that's it.
You gotta say, when I show you this, you have to say, I was wrong. So I can put it up there. Is that a deal?
People say that you're wrong.
When are they going to learn? How many times do I have to dumbass these guys before they find out I don't tell them?
And now, see, this is another thing too. Like, there's some Creek Squad members that's not with around on that dumb shit like myself. You know what I mean? I love the Creek Squad shit. You know what I mean? But I'm not with no dumbass shit where he went way too far with it. You know what I mean? I'm not with that. I'm not backing that up. Not by no means.
Is that D-Nugs?
What's that there, buddy? Hey.
Got him.
Rich.
Got him.
What's that right there?
I can't even really see that. It looks like a TV or something. I don't even know what the hell that is. I can't on my phone. It's kind of small.
That's one big ass server.
Looks like a big server with a bunch of
Right now it's going.
I can't even see what it is.
That toy's on a fiber link, son.
Yeah.
758 meg up. Almost 10 gig down.
But what is that though? Like, I'm being serious. Like, what is that? Like, what does it do?
It's a LAMP server.
I don't even know what that is.
That's running Apache. It hosts about 270 websites. It runs its own DNS I run my own DNS with reverse trace and all that shit.
So it's kind of like a big old VPN, basically.
It's just a huge LAMP server, you know.
I ain't never heard of
Linux,
it. Yeah.
Apache,
Tell me
MySQL.
about
Yeah, I don't
Huh?
know what the hell that is.
this. I said, I'm
Let me tell you
jealous. I want
something. Hey,
one.
Richie boy. I bought my first computer in 1990 before there was Windows. When you turned the computer on, it had a black screen and a flashing cursor.
Didn't the internet come out like in like 89 or some shit?
No,
99?
1995 was
95, okay.
when people started getting internet in their homes, was around 1995.
Okay.
And I was there for the whole fucking come up, dude, from having dial-up BBSs. I had a 64 node BBS, 64 phone lines where you could dial into my BBS board and play Doom 2.
Bro, I think
built it all myself out of fucking digiboards, welded the cables up and everything. Okay.
See,
I had to
only
make
30.
my own null modem cables because you couldn't buy them. You couldn't buy reverse patch null modem cables back then. And we used to have to use COM ports instead of IRQs. Okay. And it was a real bitch. And then I set up a massive IRC server with a fucking hell of a relay on it that would bounce clear across the globe in about 15 seconds. It was pretty badass toy. Well, then I converted it into dial-up internet. When internet came to town, I took my 64 phone lines and I doubled them. And when I doubled them, then I got a 178 modem rollover pack. Okay. Son of a bitch cost me $14,000. And I was selling internet. And we sold internet clear up until 2004.
Damn.
You got any other questions?
Shit back in the day.
I think it's funny. Like, I mean, I think it's cool. Like the older
Buddy?
guys, I'm 30, but like somebody that's like 50 and above that, you know, experienced no internet, some computers, then the internet. You know, it's funny how they get to experience all these different changes in technology, man. You know what I mean?
But yet they're the dumbest generation. They have the best technology, but they won't use it. They won't use it to educate themselves. They only use it for porn and to troll people. That's all they
Look,
use
people,
it for.
I've dropped the link for Kurt to come up on the panel like 5 times. And
Yeah, I have too.
So quit asking.
Yeah, so unless ask him, are you blocked or something?
They're not.
He can still come from StreamYard even if he's blocked.
They're not coming, bro. If they're not coming,
I think
by
I got
now,
better pictures of this thing. Hold on. It's been a while since I dug through these photos here.
But yeah, man, I just think it's cool, man, how an older guy, you know, like older people, you know, get experience.
Oh yeah, I do. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, let's do this one. This is gonna hurt his feelings. So will this one too.
Don't hurt his feelings too bad.
Well, you know, sometimes you got to just slap these twerps, you know, like with the truth. And then the truth hits them upside the head and they go, man, do I feel dumb. Well, maybe they don't. Maybe they're too
Hey,
dumb
well,
to feel
Triple T slapped a lot of motherfuckers in the face when he did that video about anime on their medals. I can tell you that right
dumb. Yeah,
now.
that was really good, man.
I can tell you that right now.
Bad boy, I wrote in your thing.
That's the reason I subscribed to him. Because of that.
I said that was one of the best streams you've done, having Triple T on and just putting that shit to bed.
Yeah, hold on.
Damn right.
I think anybody that stands up to some of these bullies and people that are doxing, and because I've seen it so much since I've been on this side of YouTube, and there's so many out there you wouldn't believe, people putting people's faces on t-shirts and mug shots. Y'all don't even know. And for somebody to stand up, a real man to stand up for it, yeah,
Triple T got
Triple
myself
T.
because of that, man. That
Yeah.
was
There, now you can see
And
some trace
Psycho.
route happen there, buddy. Don't you see that command line right there? That's ETF. That's doing a bounce back. You're seeing a bunch of public IPs ripped by on the screen.
Oh, I zoomed in on my iPhone now. I can see it a little bit. Yeah, I can see it now better. I can see it a lot better now. Holy.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot of shit. I don't even know what's going on right there.
I wish we
Let's
could
see
start a
what
movement to stop that shit. Make it, you know.
Well, I can tell you right now,
I wish
Ryan
YouTube would stop it.
We're trying.
Ryan
I
Upchurch
hope,
took a bunch of
honestly,
steps backwards.
I've seen so much.
That's the
Y'all
side
wouldn't
of it.
believe
You can see
what I've
it's the
seen.
same rooms, the same room I'm in now. Same paneling, same color, same pictures. There's the
look.
side view. Yeah, let's see what else. Should have another one here. Yes.
And people
Just
scared to stand up to them.
yeah, they've never had anybody just kick back, and treat them like the
Hell
bitches they
no.
are. There we go. There we go. And then I'll put it to bed. There. Now, you got any other questions, buddy? Maybe, maybe not. You've never seen nothing like that in anybody's house, have you? You got to hear that motherfucker.
Excuse me.
Sounds like a jet airplane taking off. I feel sorry for him now. I did make him look stupid, didn't I?
I just hope those three get justice. Zename, McMahon.
Oh, they are. I am totally confident.
Ronnie.
Let me tell you something. Zan May is no pushover. The silence hasn't been
she's
for no
not.
reason. The silence has been a very methodically planned response.
And you better watch out for the quiet
Rain's,
one.
YouTube page got struck. And now I heard you guys talking the other night. It was 10 days. Now there's two struck. YouTube just changed their rules. It's 7 days, 14 days, and if you get a strike between those in 90 days, your channel's gone.
So maybe it was a 7-day strike.
Yeah, so it's either 7 or 14.
Yeah, it was 7 then. Yeah. That was,
one of the
yeah.
channels is going through that right
TT's cool dude, man. Okay. Rick says he was wrong. Hey, thank you, dude. I appreciate it. You don't know how much that means to me. You admitted you were wrong. That tells me there's hope. Dude, I'm serious. I got some, I could tell you some stories, dude. I had the first Doom 2 server you could dial into and play multiplayer Doom. That is not a lie at all. Me and my friend fucked with it. We used to hook our computers up together all the time using a null modem cable, and you could do multiplayer, right? But you had to have the computers in the same room. Okay. Well, then we figured out how to do it across an IP network, and I could do it upstairs and he could be downstairs, right? Well, then we said, well, why the hell can't we connect two modems and do the same thing? So we connected two modems and it worked. So I soldered up null modem cables so I could hook the modem to the LPT port on the back of a 38640 DOS box that had 8 mega RAM, and which was a big deal back then. And it was running the Doom 2 game engine only. The graphics and all that lived on your PC. And then it got where 4 people could dial in, and then I had it clear up 60 some people dialing in, playing multiplayer Doom before there was an internet. And then we started charging money for it. And man, them people would just burn them phone lines up all night long. And then when internet came to town, we sold that. But when they brought cable internet, that killed the dial up. You couldn't make any more money on dial up. And so I finally had to pull the plug on that deal because people were getting high speed internet, for $39 a month, So what are they going to buy a dial up for? So that was the end of that.
Yeah, dial up at AOL.
I should have some pictures of old LAN parties. Like, I'll dig those up. We used to have LAN parties, okay, where we'd go in the basement of this guy's house. And I got to tell you this is a fascinating story because Ryan Upchurch, is a great success story, right? Poor guy, pulled himself up by the bootstraps, used his talent to get his family out of a shithole into a nice home. It's a great story, right? Well, there are success stories like that all the time that you don't hear about. And this is one of them. Okay. This dude named Andy Doss, who was one of the dudes that played Doom 2 on my Doom 2 server. We would go over to his house, and there would be about 20 of us that would go over there and link our computers together and play Doom 2 and a couple other different games. And we would share with each other what we knew, and we would share our digitized music. And you got to understand, back then that was a big deal to have digitized music. It was brand new. We were like the cool kids that had it. Well, he became very, very efficient with Unix. This kid had an understanding of Unix that was dangerous right from the start. And once the internet came to town, a computer shop showed up. It was the first computer shop in our town. And he went there and applied for a job, and they were amazed at his talent. He quickly excelled to the manager of this place, and they did like commercial installs, like in office buildings and stuff. And I mean, he was advanced. He could set up huge multi-node routers, and it would be like when you see on TV where there's somebody with thick glasses just looking down, chopping away at a keyboard. That was him. Okay, biggest nerd you ever seen. I'm talking even with the white tape on the glasses. Okay, he landed a job at the city school, working for the school district, and he built a algorithm, or he wrote an algorithm for the schools that would take proprietary data and convert it into an Excel spreadsheet. So they could say, like, well, how many students had an F? And it would, build a database for that. Or how many students were late? It would build a, see what I mean? And it was this algorithm thing where then from a browser, you could search that data in the school network, and it was very helpful to teachers. Well, the school bought it off of him for $1.2 million. And then they also signed a contract with him to maintain it for 10 years for $450,000 a year. So there's a success story. This kid was a high school dropout. And yeah, he's a fucking millionaire now from just fucking with a computer at home. Hey, how we doing, Mr. Fusion?
Somebody said Stone Dad's gonna get a letter notarized that it means nobody can talk about him.
Oh, well, good. Let him get one.
Fucking Stone Dad, what a joke.
He's just let me tell you, you don't have to worry about him because he's like a gnat.
Exactly.
He's just going to buzz around your ear. He can't sting you. He can't bite you. And you just swat him away. And he'll come back a little later and buzz around your ear. And then you just swat him again. And, he's harmless. You just ignore him. His mom's not going to take him nowhere in the car. So he can't do anything unless his mom gives him a ride, because he don't even have a driver's license. He never had the gumption to get one. I got to get some more of these questions. Gobble, gobble. Man, Johnny Gobble. I stuck up for you when people were calling you a pedo, dude. I really did.
Somebody asked why Zanime was quiet or if she was hiding.
No,
Number
she's
one,
just not going to engage. She's just not going to engage.
Right. She doesn't have to hide. She's not being quiet. She's living her life. And, sometimes you have to kind of watch out for the quiet ones, because Zanime's a smart woman. And the people who have wronged her just need to be careful. And that's not a threat. Zanime is not a vengeful person, but Zanime very much knows how to take care of herself and her family. And when you start pulling up outside her house, and when you start threatening her and her family, you have crossed a legal line. And so I think the smart thing is for people to stand down, stand back. People that want to support Zanime need to stand against cyberbullying. That's her platform. And they need to go about their lives and stop going down these rabbit holes, and stop the bullying, and stop listening to all this nonsense that RU and the Creek Squad refuse to let go. I will give it to Ryan that he's smart in one sense. he started all this nonsense and then he kept pivoting to different things. You know, when his conspiracy theories didn't work out, then he went to character assassinations.
Yep.
When those didn't work out, then all of a sudden Kylie and her parents didn't exist. And then when that didn't work out, Kylie was Callie. And then when that didn't work out, all of a sudden he said he was being fed wrong information.
Hey, long story
So
short,
the other thing that he did is that now that he's kind of disappeared because he's moving, he allows his squad to fall on the sword for him.
Yeah.
So I would just caution the squad to go about their lives, find something better to do.
Boy, I wish it was that easy, dear.
Just
I
quit doing
know.
shrimp.
Salty Bobo, he now, are you telling me that you actually, after what you just listened to, you want to challenge whether or not I'm being truthful? Is that what I'm seeing here? It was Doom first, okay? And then it was Doom 2. And I'll have you know, I had Doom 2 a year and a half before it hit the store shelf. I signed up to be a beta tester, smartass. And we were playing Doom 2 in late 1992. And I
was born in
that.
92.
I can
What the
prove
fuck?
that. I can prove that like I just proved just a minute ago.
I was born in 92, bro. That's crazy. I was born in June 10th, 92.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah, I signed up to be a beta tester for ID Software. There were about 15 of us. You had to write in a letter because you understand there was no internet.
Yep.
So we had to write a letter, and they would mail us the floppy disk in the mail. And I never forget, man. I jumped up and down. I opened that fucking mailbox, and I saw that ID Software box, man. I ripped that bitch open, and there was Doom 2. I was like, hell yeah, this is multiplayer, man.
Fucking floppy disk. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
You
it
went
was
way
on floppy
back
disk.
then.
I still have the floppy disk.
God.
I still have the floppy disk and the box it came in with the date on it. If
That's
people want to
crazy,
challenge me.
Psycho Babble, can I say, and to Xanime's friend, and you know, I've had people ask why I'm so adamant about, you know, all this bullying and all. I told you, I don't know if you remember because a bunch of people's been on your panel, but I was in foster care. I was a foster child, and I was bullied in school because I didn't have parents. You know, I was made fun of. And so that's why I'm totally against bullying. It destroys somebody and can destroy their life.
Well, I was the same way, man. I was very severely verbally abused, and my oldest brother and his friends fucking bullied me something awful. You know, he was like about 4.5 years older than me, and then you know some of his friends were 5 years older than me. Well, when you're 8, 5 years is a lot.
Right.
They fucked with me hard.
Well, you know, this was high school, and you would think that them knowing at that age what somebody had to be in foster care anyway, and then to bully the child that's in foster care. And so, you know,
See,
my
my
therapist has
sister-
said that I'm a survivor, and I definitely am. I'm a damn warrior.
Well, I had my family.
You are,
My whole
because
family has done
cyberbullying
you know.
kills people.
It does. It hurts people a lot. It's very hurtful.
It kills people. There are people who will take, you know, they'll out themselves over this.
It's people in jail that have caused that too. Even my whole family, my mom and my sister, and my brother, and myself have all been foster parents at one point or another. My sister and my mom did it like big time for a while. That's when my mom retired. That's what she did.
Foster care saved my life. It saved my life.
Well, I can tell you,
I
my
mean-
mom and my sister provided a pretty daggone good place for a kid to be, with horses to ride. They had quads. They had horses. They had dirt bikes. They had tractors. They had side by sides, and those kids had the time of their life.
That's amazing. My first foster home I was taken from. I was removed from the home because of stuff that was going on in the home. My second foster home was, it was a really good. I bought it. I was treated differently, but I'm thankful. I'm very thankful, you know, and it just it's a disheartening subject when you.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. People, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. You know, it does. It brings up memories. You know, I can tell you that my mother and my sister both had kids that stayed when they turned 18 or were no longer a ward of the state, and they would get a, and I don't know if you got that, but they would get like a starter check to get their life going, like get an apartment and maybe move into like
No, I
what they
signed
call.
myself out.
Is that right? Well,
At 18, I
these
signed
kids would
myself
just
out.
stay. They just stayed, and my mom would tell them, "Yeah, you can stay as long as you need to." And
Well, my foster mother told me that she couldn't love me like she loved her kids. So it was, even though it was a good home, I went through a lot in foster care too.
yeah,
So
we heard horror stories.
that's why
I'll tell you,
I praise good foster parents, because I've seen, you know, I've been through the worst abuse that a child can go through, and then go through foster care and go through some of the worst things there. So yeah.
Yeah, you're breaking up pretty bad. You know,
Oh, sorry.
There's with this whole drug thing, with the amount of drug addiction we have today, it's caused a wake of kids in the system, like way more than we've ever had before, because of all the parents that have either OD'd or went to prison for drugs. And there are so many grandparents raising kids. There are a lot of grandparents raising millennial kids.
Yep.
It's a crisis. We go to a support group once a month, and there are 80 grandparents there that are raising kids just in my small county that I live in, that go to those meetings. You know, God knows how many don't go to the meeting, you know. And yeah, there's one couple that comes in there, and they're 5 years older than me and my wife, and they got 5 grandkids they're raising. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I'm talking like 3 years old to 9 years old. And man, you imagine being almost 70 years old and you're taking care of kids that young.
Yeah.
It says, Truth Seeker says, how come no one defending Ickenmel? Right. Yeah. Well, Ickenmel defended himself pretty good. And I think everybody kind of left Ickenmel alone after he made a fool of Ryan with his stupid math equation shit and dragged him out. It was pretty embarrassing.
I've talked to Ickenmel, and he has kids, and he doesn't want his family attacked. Yeah, he doesn't want his family attacked by Crack Squad, so he's kind of backing off a little bit. But I think in time he will come out and speak his truth.
Yeah, he needs to, man. That was bullshit. That's a hell of a thing to accuse somebody of, just out of the blue with no evidence to support it. That's terrible. I mean, until you've had it done to you, I guess you wouldn't know. Well, now Crack Squad knows what it's like to be doxxed and bullied around a little bit. And look at them. They're whining like babies. Talking about how terrible it is. Well, why wasn't it terrible when Ryan did it? Why wasn't it terrible when Uncle Will did it? Why wasn't it terrible when the Ferris actor on scene did it? Why wasn't it terrible when Kirk Burkhart was doing it? Why wasn't it terrible when Power Stroke was doing it? And Father and Son Reactions. It's only terrible when they get it back.
This fucking guy down in the comments
that father and son, dude, they're fucking weirdos, man.
I don't know, man. I thought highly of those guys till they sat
Dude,
on that
they are
panel.
some goofy motherfuckers, man. I mean, dude, y'all are literally trying to help Ryan solve the equation to a damn triangle. And that whole thing was just a meme off of TikTok. That's the goofy part of it. That was a meme.
No, yeah. All you can't hear, Same Assembly says, man, I wish these guys would shut up. I can't hear. Yeah, you'll probably just have to listen to it back tomorrow, Same Assembly. I know what you mean, man. It never fails. If I see something on TV I like, everybody in the goddamn room starts talking. Hey, how we doing? Truth first. How we doing?
Very good. Am I getting too much feedback, am I?
Not really. No, it's not too bad.
Okay. I'm just getting dialed in here.
All right.
Well, Psycho, I appreciate you allowing me to come up and speak. Mr. Fusion, much love. But like, man, appreciate the shout out. Y'all have a good night.
Hey, thank you. Hey, man, appreciate what you done, bro.
Yeah,
All right.
good night, Triple T. Good night, bro.
Have a good one, Triple T, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Triple T's a good dude.
Yeah, he's a real one.
No, he is. He's really a stand-up guy, man. He really is. Stand-up guy for sure.
I'm looking up everything that was just pivotal for this entire nonsense that's been going on for the last month and a half. This is my first case. Like when I say case, like I watched the Johnny Depp thing on YouTube, and then after that, this happened, and like a rabbit hole ever since type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, the thing of it is hey, you're feeding back pretty bad. I muted your mic. I had to figure out what all that background noise is. Anyway, I was talking to Truth First. He's feeding back real bad. Anyway, yeah, it's it's you can get down a rabbit hole real quick, but you know, my thing is you got to, I don't care what you're looking at, man. You should always start at what's most likely and then try to either find, if you're that interested, find information that would support that or debunk that. But you should never start from it's a huge conspiracy and now I'm going to look for reasons to believe it's a conspiracy, because that's an easy thing to get caught up into, because you're digging for the information that will support your belief that it's a conspiracy. And so you can read things, and if that's the outcome you're looking for, that's sort of what the takeaway is, and you trick yourself. And next thing you know, man, you're believing in fucking crazy shit. It happens to good people all the time. And I don't know if you were on here when I told that story about those Mexican people in the WhatsApp, but you can Google it and read it. It's a true story. Father and son, or an uncle and nephew, excuse me, were building a fence. They lived in a small Mexican village in a mountainous region in the south of Mexico. And in this area, they do not have telephone service. But what they have done is they have built a Wi-Fi mesh. And I don't know if you know what that is, but a Wi-Fi mesh is where you take like a residential Wi-Fi router, okay, and you bounce it to another Wi-Fi router, and then bounce it to another Wi-Fi router, and to another one, all using the same IP address, okay, so that this huge network now becomes one great big DHCP server for anybody that can connect to it. And that's how they communicate. And they had this app. There was this really popular app that you could use on that mesh called WhatsApp. And that's what they use to communicate in that region of Mexico still today. It's their primary source of communication. And this lady made up, literally out of the blue, she was like a big drama queen, and she made up saying that a kid had been abducted. And this uncle and nephew, who were building a fence, lived in the next town over, and they had came over to the only place where you could buy lumber and wire, at this hardware store. So all of a sudden, somebody comes out of this little bar right there and says, "That's a stranger. We don't know who that is." And the lady says, "Well, someone's been abducted, and they were over by the school a minute ago." And all of a sudden, this mob is convinced that this guy and his nephew done something to a kid. I mean, and they are convinced. So the mob comes out, and the mob's like got them surrounded, and they took their truck, and the sheriff came from the next town over and, like, you know, pulled his gun and got everybody to back away. And he finally got back up to come from another town on the other side of the hill. And those two police officers took them to the next town over and put them in the jail for their own safety. And the mob came to that town because this thing was just blowing up on that WhatsApp that they had found these two guys that abducted a child. And the mob showed up at the jail, and the two cops opened the jail and let the mob have them, and they took them out in the street and set them on fire. That's a very true story. It just happened 3 years ago. And it's just crazy, that people can just convince themselves of something so easy. And, you got to say, well, what's likely, when two guys have abducted a child and then be in the hardware store buying lumber? I mean, I doubt it. So, yeah.
That's the crazy part about the whole situation was the way Ryan went about it and whatnot. And I don't know. I didn't know who the fuck Ryan. I'll be honest. I'm not a country guy. I'm Tupac for life. But that shit spiraled real quick out of control. That was my first time ever. Tony, I watched him do the Sammy thing, and then I jumped on that panel that night when Zanime was on. Got brought down, and once it all happened, she's guilty. She's guilty. She left and whatnot. I think that's what Zanime might have been talking about. Me being in the chat or whatnot, saying, "Oh, she did leave." I think that's as far as it went though, because I'm trying to remember as far back. It's really bothering me. But
I agree, man.
I can't remember saying anything like negative, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I know Fusion has been talking or whatnot. So if you do hear this anime, I hope you hear that. That's all.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're up on the 11 o'clock. I got to cut it off, guys. Hey, I really appreciate everybody coming on. Let's keep up the good work. We're on the side of right. And I'm telling you, Crack Squad, I'm not kidding, man. I'm dead serious. You guys are going to leave this family alone. They didn't do anything to deserve it, and you're just going to leave them alone. You guys need to just find something else to do with your time. You really do.
You have a good night, bro.
You don't want the heat that's coming, because I'm not going to let you get away with it if you do it.
You have a good one, brother.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate all of you, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Anonymous guy, I watched your videos today. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Everybody have a good night.
Yep.
Everybody take care. Bye.
Yep. Have a good one, guys.
You too.